Hello everyone, I'm Lola Riz and this is Watching and Reading. I'm here to review Baby Farm, a Nollywood movie. This movie is split into 5 episodes. We're introduced to these doctors, Dr. Oliver and Barbara Evans, who are the founders of Evans Foundation. Evans Foundation is a foundation that was created to, care for unwanted babies. Cherise is an actress who has been married for a very long time and has been longing to have a child, of which he didn't. So Akin is her husband and manager, right? So Cherise keeps telling Akin like having a child is all that she wants, like that is what she really wants and all that stuff. And they keep trying and they are not lucky to have the child, right? So Akin is this kind of like patient guy who wants to just wait for God to do it for them, right? He preferred that Cherise focuses on her career as opposed to just moping around because she doesn't have a child, right? So Cherise and Akin, they go for one of the fundraisers at Evans Foundation. And Cherise she's kind of like depressed at this point. So she just excuses herself to the toilet. She goes there to cry alone. And then that's when Barbara Evans comes to meet her and tells her that if it's a child that she wants, the Evans Foundation can help her to get a child. And Cherise says she would really love to have twins. And Barbara Evans tells her, don't worry, we can do it for you. Because they know how adoption can be stressful and how it takes so much time, so much energy, so much money to be able to adopt legally, but that there's a way they can do it for her to help her get twins right. Now, on the other side, we have Adana. So Adana is a teenager who was in love with her young teenage boyfriend, Obi, and she discovers that she's pregnant, right? So she tells Obi that she's pregnant and he's really, really happy and excited. After the news, they both go back home with excitement. When Adana's mother discovers that she's pregnant, Adana's mother is furious, right? So Adana runs out to go and look for Obi at his house. When she gets to Obi's house, she realizes that Obi has left for Lagos without telling her. And Obi's mother sends her away. Like, she didn't want her to have anything to do with Adana. Adana goes back home, and because of fear of what her parents will do to her, that she's pregnant, she packs her things in the middle of the night. She leaves. She goes to Lagos. When she gets to Lagos, when she went to Obi's house, right, and the mother sent her away, someone gave her Obi's forwarding address. So that's why she went to Lagos to find Obi. When she goes to Lagos, she goes to that forwarding address and she's told that Obi doesn't stay there anymore. And when she asks for the new address, the person said he doesn't know where Obi went to. So Adana is in the big city of Lagos, stranded, pregnant and stranded. She goes to look for a job, and she's given a job. She's given a job as a cleaner in this big house, right? And she's being paid. But when it is discovered that she's pregnant, she's fired on the spot. And because she's fired and she has no money, she can't pay for the rent that she was managing. So she's thrown out on the streets. So Adana is on the streets of Lagos, alone, penniless, frustrated, hungry, tired. This night, she just sees this little shed. She sits down there, and then she meets this prostitute who is there. And the prostitute asks her, like, what is going on? Why are you here at this time of the night? She explains her predicament to the prostitute that she has nowhere to go. And the prostitute sees that she's pregnant, right? So the prostitute says, okay, you know what? I'm going to attend to a client like this night, but just remain under this shed. When I come back tomorrow, I'll help you out. And she says, okay. So this prostitute leaves and comes back the next morning and meets Adana there. So what the prostitute does that she takes Adana to the Evans Foundation. When she takes Adana there, and Barbara meets Adana, asks about her story. Adana tells her story. The prostitute was now like, okay, I've left you. These people are good people and I've left you in good hands, so you're going to be all right. The prostitute leaves. But as the prostitute is leaving, we see that she has an envelope with money inside of it. Red flag, right? So anyway, Adana is there. She's giving a tour with another young lady called Ebon. She goes around, she's giving a tour, and while they're having a tour, right, she meets this lady, NM. And after smiling with NM and greeting NM is actually pregnant, right? So after smiling with NM, greeting her, NM just starts to like, she just acts out and is shouting and telling Adana to just get out of that place while she can. Adana shouldn't join them, she should get out. This scares Adana a little bit, right? But Ebon and Barbara tell her that NM is actually suffering mental problems, so she shouldn't mind her. Another red flag, right? They just go around and everything. So they give Adana food to eat, like very good food that she hasn't eaten in months. Finally, after the whole tour and everything, Barbara asks Adana if she's still interested in staying with them. Because if she stays with them, they'll be able to take care of her, give her medical care and attention until she has her child. And then they can give her child a loving home. And she goes her own way. So Adana, knowing that she has nothing to go back to, or she has nowhere to go back to, she should leave the foundation, accepts to be with them. So she joins them and she realizes that at the back of the hospital, there's like a, I don't want to call it hostel. The way the facility even looks, it does not look like a hostel. To me personally, there are lots of pregnant girls, a lot of pregnant teenagers, and all the pregnant girls have a certain uniform. To me, this was just another red flag. They all had a routine. They had the time to eat. They had certain places they were not allowed to go to, certain places that they were allowed to go to, and they had cameras all over this facility watching every movement. That day that Adana gets accepted into the facility, a woman comes in and says she's the senior sister of NM, right? And that NM has been missing for some months. She's looking for her sister and all that. This person meets Barbara personally, and so she gives Barbara a flyer of a missing persons flyer that in case Barbara should see NM, Barbara should call the number on the flyer, and Barbara says she will, right? And Barbara throws the flyer away in a bin. Adana meets other pregnant girls, and she soon realizes that they are generally called makers. Adana too is also a maker. So if you want to refer to them, it will be like Maker Adana, Barbara wants to see you. They have security men all over the place. Like the place is like a prison facility. She meets Comfort, who is also a maker. There's Enie. Enie is a maker, but she's a special maker. Enie cannot talk. Like she can see, she can walk and everything, but it's like her mind is not there with them. It's like her mind is absent from her body, so she can't talk, she can't react, she doesn't even know what is going on in her environment. Then there's also Meka Aisha. Meka Aisha is like the bully. And then they have a nurse Chinedu, who is a male nurse. So this male nurse is actually supposed to be making sure that he attends to the makers and make sure that everything is okay with them medically. But nurse Chinedu uses the opportunity to take advantage of the makers. There's also another nurse. This nurse was shown in episode 2. The woman who acted Auntie Labake in Wura, she's also in this movie, but I didn't catch her name, unfortunately. Like, I was just so excited that I saw her in this movie, and I missed her name, right? So she's also another nurse here, but she's a stricter nurse, right? And she knows the movement of all the makers. She's quite ahead of the makers. They also have their room. All the makers sleep in a general room with bunk beds, like as if they're in a military camp or something. Adana is an inquisitive soul, right? She's the kind of person that likes to ask questions. She wants to know why things happen, what is going on, what stuff happens here, what stuff happens here. She realizes that a particular gate is locked. She will ask why. She just, going around asking stuff. And because she's asking a lot and because she's inquisitive a lot, she soon finds out that the Evans are not who they claim to be. And when she finds that out, right, she now realizes that she's actually in danger. And on the other side, what the makers do not see is that there's a bit of the relationship between husband and wife, Dr. Oliver and Dr. Barbara Evans, who own that facility. It's a dominant, submissive kind of relationship, right? So Oliver is in charge. She does whatever he wants to do. Barbara just goes along with whatever Oliver wants, right? And sometimes he actually gets physical with Barbara. And we see that Barbara is actually the person who is looking out for the makers, because if it was left to Oliver, any maker that does anything that he does not like, he will unalive the maker streets. But Barbara is always like the voice of reason. She's always coming in and trying to convince him to be a bit patient with the makers and all of that. Adana realizes that that place is a dangerous place for her, right? Especially when she no longer finds NM. NM just disappears all of a sudden, and she knows that something is up, right? So she tried to escape. She told her best friend Ebu that she tried to escape. She told her best friend how she was going to do it, that she jumped into facilities laundry trolley. Is a very big one. So it's big enough to accommodate her. So she planned that she jump into the laundry trolley. They load the laundry trolley onto the bus, and the bus will ride out of the clinic. And whenever they get to wherever they are getting to, she can make her escape from there. She tells Egun, right? So as she tells Egun, she goes along with the plan. She gets into the laundry trolley. The laundry trolley is wheeled into the bus. The bus is actually going out, and just when the bus gets to the gate, Barbara orders the bus to stop. The bus stops. She tells them to open the boots. They open the boots, and she just stands there. Barbara just stands there, just says, "You know what, Adana, your game is up. Come out." And that's how Adana is taken back to the facility. And Dr. Oliver is so pissed that Adana actually tried to escape. He says because she's heavily pregnant and her due date is near, he will not punish her. He will punish the other makers. So all the other makers got a beating. That now made them to hate Adana a lot, right? Anyway, with a lot of things really happened in this movie. The interaction Adana is having with the other makers, she now realizes that some makers have been there for years, like this Ebun. Ebun actually said she had been there for, is it not 6 or 7 years? And Adana kept asking, like, why didn't you leave? Like, why are you still there? And Ebun was just like, she tried to have a child, but like she was always having stillbirth. That's what she explained to Adana. She was always having stillbirth. She had tried having a child 6 good times, and they were all stillbirths. And she keeps telling Adana that, Mrs. Barbara is nice. This is a nice place. They treat them well. They have good food. They have accommodation. She can't go back to the streets. She'd rather stay there. It kind of like piques Adana's curiosity. Like, why aren't people allowed to live when they want to? Let me not say more than this, because a lot actually happened. But in the end, Adana is able to escape. I can't hold that one back. I can't hold it back. I just have to tell you guys. Let me stop saying the story here. And honestly, I really enjoyed this movie. It's one of the best movies that I've watched this year. One of the best Nigerian movies that I've watched this year. I really enjoyed it. The acting was perfect. The storyline, like everything was so good. There was no lapse in it. Although it's kind of ended in a comedy tragedy, sort of. Like, I had mixed feelings, the ending, and I actually cried. Like, I literally cried. I recommend that you all get the movie, watch it, and enjoy it as well. So that's that for this review. See you in the next one. Bye.